Oh, what's the matter, pussycat? I don't do autographs till after the show. Of course, that's assuming you'll still be able to walk after my performance.
This town smells all wrong. My senses are a mess. Something bad's about to happen. I can smell it in the air.
Smell? I don't smell a damn thing.
I just think you should be careful. Something's gonna happen, I know.
Oh, you're damn right something's gonna happen. I'm playing tonight, aren't I? I put out for them with my music. They put out a bit of their souls for me. A fair and equitable business arrangement, if you ask me.
The term zombie is often used to describe a human corpse that has become reanimated through otherworldly or supernatural forces like voodoo or necromancy. The origin of the term can be traced back to Haitian folklore, but the concept of a soulless body designed to serve a master or wreak havoc among an unsuspecting people has been the subject of many famous literary works throughout history and become a mainstay of the horror genre in modern film and television. For Darkstalkers' interpretation of the zombie, the development team started with a character whose origin was a soldier who had died in battle only to be resurrected. But as the designers applied more themes of the occult into his design, the former soldier slowly transformed into a former heavy metal rocker. This particular genre of music had garnered stigma and controversy over the years for being associated with signs of debauchery like Satanism. His name would be Zabel Zarock, but outside Japan it was changed to Lord Raptor. He could maintain his original appearance as a human to hide among others, and transform into his more powerful zombie form at will. As a musician from Australia, he was most likely based on heavy metal bands like AC/DC. His human form appears to be inspired by a young Ozzy Osbourne of the band Black Sabbath, while his zombie form has a striking resemblance to Eddie the Head, the mascot of the band Iron Maiden. Objects designer Toru Takauka knew zombies traditionally have sluggish and grotesque movements, which he thought would not make this character very appealing. When he saw his heavy metal jacket, it gave him the conceptual hint he needed. Takauka envisioned Lord Raptor as the crazy type of person who would walk around wearing headphones and bang his head shamelessly. He expanded his personality through the way he would move in the game and pose with his guitar. While most zombies in film and literature are often portrayed as mindless, shambling figures, Lord Raptor maintains his original personality and uses his new body as a weapon. Through his powers of the occult, he can contort his body into different shapes and utilize his bones as cutting weapons like swords and chainsaws, the latter of which was included due to Takauka's love of horror movies like Army of Darkness and Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Lord Raptor can also generate electricity and attack enemies with his guitar. With the help of his sidekick Lamalta, his abilities transcend into the absurd when he transforms his opponents into a basketball, which he then uses to dunk into a newly formed basket hoop. According to Haruo Murata, Lord Raptor was the first character to receive spoken dialogue. His evil nature seeps through in the way he joyfully murders people, cracking jokes all the while. Despite his many influences taken from heavy metal, Lord Raptor also carries a number of references to the pop singer Michael Jackson. He can be heard quoting the singer's phrases during combat like, "Come on!" And one of his special moves starts with a musical cue reminiscent of one of Michael Jackson's songs. Lord Raptor was a young and charismatic rock star, an expert guitarist, and considered the god of metal among his peers. His first albums became successful through word of mouth, and it wasn't long until they were selling millions, making him the next big sensation in the metal scene. In the aftermath of his final live performance, authorities discovered the bodies of over 100 fans completely drained of blood with no signs left of what may have caused their deaths. All that was found of Lord Raptor's body was a pile of bleached bones on stage. According to reports, Lord Raptor was last heard uttering the name Emperor Azam during his performance. A few days later, a strange leather-covered book called A Chapter of Talagido, written in what seemed to be ancient Hebrew, was discovered in Lord Raptor's house. The book explained the existence of the demon world of Makai, and many of its passages resembled the lyrics to a number of his hit songs, referencing topics of the occult like offering sacrifices to the so-called King of Makai. These were the same songs reportedly played during his last concert, where Lord Raptor disappeared and the mass murder occurred. Further evidence showed that Lord Raptor had been preparing for this sacrifice since his first album was released, slowly brainwashing his potential victims over time. Azam was once a trusted assistant to the demon lord Jeddah. He originally pledged himself to Jeddah in the hopes of feeding upon the leftover souls Jeddah would often feast on. While not as powerful as the three S-class nobles, Azam was quite gifted when it came to deception and manipulation. He managed to trick Jeddah into self-destructing, after which he took his place as the head of House Doma. When Azam discovered how much Lord Raptor's soul was steeped in darkness, he promised him greatness and power beyond his imagination in exchange for a large-scale massacre's worth of souls to feast upon. Following the sacrifice, Azam baptized Lord Raptor's soul in darkness and resurrected him as a zombie. He used the Rocker's bloodlust to his advantage, enlisting him to kill the Darkstalkers with the promise of even more power. Although Lord Raptor agreed, his true intentions were to kill Azam himself and rule as the new Emperor of Makai. Aware that Lord Raptor could potentially betray him, Azam summoned a one-eyed, amorphous frog creature named Lamalta that was capable of moving freely between Earth and Makai. Lamalta was sent to spy on Lord Raptor, though he eventually became more of a pet, serving as part of his numerous attack moves. When he arrived at Azam's castle, Lord Raptor was surprised to learn it had disappeared. The demon lord Jeddah had returned, and as punishment for his betrayal, Azam's soul was taken and used as the base for his new dimension called the Majigan. Despite learning of Azam's demise, Lord Raptor forwarded on into the Majigan with the intention of killing its creator and usurping his position. In his ending to Vampire Savior, Lord Raptor is shown victorious in defeating Jeddah, though his newly acquired power proves to be too much for him to handle. Lord Raptor's character arc primarily revolves around his relationships with Azam and sidekick Lamalta, who are both relegated to the background of the series. As a result, his interactions with the other main Darkstalkers are few and far between, and they normally don't extend beyond comedic or lighthearted moments. For example, at the beginning of a match against Cienko, Lord Raptor's eyes become hearts and can be seen pulsing out of his head, implying he has a strong affection for the Chinese vampire. When fighting against BB Hood, Lamalta is the one who appears love-struck. Lord Raptor is often voiced by Yuji Ueda, who's known for providing the voice for a number of Capcom characters over the years, as well as many notable anime characters. His English voice actor, Scott McNeil, gave him an Australian accent to match his country origins, while also providing the voice work for both the Japanese animation and American TV series.
I'm kinda non-denominational myself. Never fear, I'm a pro. I know my job. And it's to party hardy, dudes.
Lord Raptor has made some appearances in other Capcom games, but it's only been to the extent of a cameo in the background and not in a playable form, so not many people are familiar with the Australian zombie outside of the fighting games. Those more casually aware of Darkstalkers typically view the series as just a Street Fighter spin-off with monsters. But to the more die-hard fans, what really makes the franchise shine are its characters that excel at being just downright freaks. Take for instance, this character who was essentially a serial killer who becomes a zombie that quotes Michael Jackson and transforms his opponents into basketballs. The developers took the classic monster archetypes and ran with them to such unconventional extremes that they become almost unrecognizable to the source material. These are the design traits that really made Darkstalkers exceptional in its genre, and there are few other characters who excelled at representing those traits as pure and unadulterated as Lord Raptor.
That's right! It's rock! I'm living and you're dead.